The Fed raises rates today and the market responds positively. Yes, you heard that. Raising rates and responding positively. We're going to go over that article as well as several other here today on Real Estate Daily. Welcome everyone. My name is Troy, and every day we go over the latest news in real estate, mortgage, and the housing market. Now, before we jump into it, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Boom, boom, boom. Now, let's go over what the Fed did. Let's jump right into it. So the Fed raised rates by 25 basis points. This was really expected. I think it was like 98% or 25% raise. Again, I always say what they talk about afterwards is the more important moment, not the actual raise. Well, they said that they saw future raises, but the home market's banking on one more raise, which would be at the end of March. And once they do that, they're expecting a very dovish conversation coming out of that news conference that possibly will stop raises at that moment for the foreseeable future. Now, for that to happen, a couple things has to happen. You have to see unemployment rate go up. Though unemployment rate's still strong, we know that there was hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people laid off or fired in the month of January. And because of that, those numbers won't show up until February pretty much, and won't show up until March's numbers ahead of the meeting. We're also going to go through CPI numbers, several CPI numbers before the Fed meets next time as well. So with that being said, the bond market responded very favorably today. And so we're going to see rates go down. Now, what does that do? How does that affect the housing market? I think it's a huge positive. We're going to see rates now drop into the low fours. So all those people in the last 6 months that bought a house have a chance to refi, at least a chance to refi. Number one. Number two, we're going to see sellers know that the market's going to get hot and they're going to be putting more inventory on the market. I foresee more inventory in in February, and then again in March if we can keep these rates low. And then we're also going to see the buyers come back in, especially if it hits in the high to mid fours. So with that being said, I think that there's just all positive points all the way across the board in the Fed meeting today. Now, I know for a fact, or at least if I look back into the numbers over the last 30 or 40 years, when the Fed pivots, that means from the Fed raising rates and then goes to lowering rates, we know at that point the stock market takes a complete crash. It goes down. And with that being said, with the Fed, I don't think we're going to get any pivot conversation, but we're definitely going to get, hold the ship steady and maybe keep it at no raises after that fact. Now, what's the negative part about this? Well, the negative part, of course, is the interest that the United States owes on their debt. So right now, last year, the debt, what they paid in debt was the highest of all time. For $31.5 billion, they paid $820 billion in interest, which is ridiculous. This is all conjunction with what the debt is and then what's been raised, or what the interest rate that the Fed has. And this year, right now, if we just stay steady, what we have right now, or even bump it up a little bit, we'll be at $1.2 to $1.5 trillion in interest payments. This can be very, very dangerous for us because we just don't have the money to pay that interest rate. So I don't know if the administration, Biden administration, is going to come out and really put some pressure on the Fed, because that's quite a lot of money where they're already arguing whether they're even going to raise the debt ceiling at all. And if they are, there's going to be some concessions that the blue team's going to have to give to the red team. Hopefully those concessions include a lot less funding going into the IRS, as well as a lot less funding to all the little stupid programs that have come out over the past 2 years that do not help the homeless or actually feed America or feed the world. It's all about, WAR or, all that stuff that's going on all over the world. All right, next article is UWM It's United Mortgage, my wholesale mortgage, rolls out construction to permanent loans. I kind of like this. These are for properties that are all beat up. Now, what we've seen in the last 3 or 4 months is those beat up houses sitting there. And if they're cash only, that unless it's low enough, no one's going to buy it. And then some of those houses that need rehabs that unrealistic sellers think they can get market. Well, this is very cool. So starting February 1st, UWM's one-time closed construction loans will be available for eligible 15 to 30-year fixed conventional loans or 7 to 10-year adjustable rate ARMs, the firm said Wednesday. This is fantastic. This is going to bring in people who are going, hey, I'm buying a house. I hate the way it looks. I'm going to get a discount on it. And now I can get construction loan, maybe $30,000, $40,000 on what the fixed up value is and not what it's worth today. And then I can then get a escrow account in which I can pull money out of that escrow account, give it to a contractor who is like redoing a kitchen or a bathroom or maybe, flooring or painting or whatever. I think this is really cool. I can't wait for this to happen. Here's the UWM CEO saying the streamlined process and certain one-time close new construction loans offer an unmatched and will set brokers up to be the hero with builders, real estate agents, contractors, and get their borrowers in their dream home. I love it. If you are a buyer out there that has great vision, meaning I can walk into a house and say, I can look past the old 70s look or 80s look, and I can see what I can do to this house to get where I need it to be for my dream home. Then I can bring my contractor in and I can have them give me some estimated costs. And then I can look at this type of loan. This is where I want to be. There's no question about it. This is what the loan I would prefer. All right. So yesterday at the close, where did rates show up? Really a big flat nothing. If you look at 30-year conforming, 0.00, FHA, 0.00. We saw a little bump up in jumbo, but we saw a huge jump up. What am I talking about? 33 basis points, exploded up. Boy, if I'm out there and I'm getting a jumbo loan, guys, you need to work with the right agent, a loan officer, because jumbos literally go down 1/3 of a point or 1/2 a point on a daily basis, up, down, up, down, up, down. 15-year conforming went down 16 basis points. Make sure you're working with the right LO. It's not about the rate he gives you today, especially on jumbo. It's about them knowing what the market is going to do and where they can predict it, where they're seeing it at, not because they sit in an ivory tower and today rate's going to be X, Y, but when you get into escrow, you want to make sure that they know that even though Monday and Tuesday was terrible, Wednesday it dropped 30 basis points. That's when I want to lock my loan. I don't want a guy who goes, oh, I got escrow, I'm locking it today. And that isn't going to help you out. You need to find that right agent that understands the day it locks is the best day for you, because that will affect even $10, $20, $30, $40 a month will affect you over the next 30 years. You're paying tens of thousands of dollars. Well, thank you guys very much for joining us today. I really appreciate it. If you like it, hit that like button. Otherwise, you know what? Buyers are going to be coming out in groves. Sellers, if you have any questions, buyers have any questions, hit us down below in the comments. I'm going to be presenting a buyer and seller's home guide here in the next few days. So I'll have links down in the description. Otherwise, guys, you take care and I will see you tomorrow.